Every full moon, a battered gray van rolls up to a deserted intersection. And no matter who takes a photo, its license plate is always a jumble of numbers that lead nowhere. Police records, DMV databases. The registration simply doesn't exist. The first time Anna saw the van, she thought it was a trick of the moonlight. The intersection at Duncan's Hollow wasn't somewhere people hung around after nightfall, especially not in a town like Millfield, where parents still chain bikes on porches and teenagers claim to have seen everything, but never quite this. The road cut through a patch of pines so dense it looked black on moonless nights. But when the moon was full, silver beams made even the yellowed grass shimmer, scattering shadows like nervous ghosts. Anna, 24, a photojournalist with a knack for chasing small-town legends, had parked her Civic on a gravel shoulder hoping to capture the lunar spectacle. The only witnesses nearby were the whir of cicadas and the distant bark of a stray dog. She'd heard stories since she was a kid. "Don't hang around Duncan's Hollow after midnight," her grandmother would say, "or you'll meet the van that drives nowhere." Back then, the tales seemed like rural nonsense, until 2 months ago, when local police received an anonymous photo. In it, the van sat idling in the intersection under a swollen, perfect moon. There was no driver in sight, no visible movement inside. Oddest of all, the license plate was perfectly clear, but every attempt to run those numbers came back the same. No such record. They called it a database glitch at first, but then, every full moon, the van returned. Different people, different phones, always the same result. On May 24th, Anna set an alert on her phone.
Full moon, 1:30 a.m., Duncan's Hollow.
If the urban legends were true, she'd finally put her skepticism to rest. If not, well, at least she'd get some interesting shots for her Instagram. She packed her gear, a camera, a field recorder, and a flashlight, along with a battered spiral-bound notebook full of town gossip and half-finished interviews. As she drove the winding roads, radio low, she replayed snippets from her latest interview with Deputy Chavez.
"We don't know whose van that is or where it goes,"
he said, shifting uncomfortably in his seat.
"But I've run the tags myself. There's nothing, not even a manufacturer's record. Anna, I've never seen anything like it."
Voices like his made the story seem all the more urgent and all the more real. Arriving at the intersection, Anna cupped the engine and killed her headlights, leaving herself illuminated only by the soft light of the rising moon. Hours passed in silence, the woods breathing and pulsing with shadowy life. Then, a faint rumbling. From the northern bend of the road, the van emerged at precisely 2:03 a.m., a washed-out gray, the headlights off, moving with eerie slowness. It slid to a halt in the dead center of the intersection. Anna instinctively raised her camera, snapping a volley of photos. Her heart hammered. She crouched behind her windshield, watching. There was movement, a silhouette perhaps, or the lingering after-image of her own nerves. The van just sat there. She snapped more photos, daring herself closer. There was no sound except for the hum of the cicadas, unnaturally synchronized with the van's arrival, every wing beat feeling like a clock running down. When Anna finally crept onto the road, the van's engine coughed to life. Its headlights snapped on, blinding her for a brief moment. In a blink, it was gone, swallowed by the pines, leaving that cold intersection emptier than before. She checked her camera and gasped. In every shot, under the van's battered bumper, the license plate was crisp as sunlight, 0138207. Every state and federal database replied with the same answer: there is no such registration. Anna's photos of the van exploded on local social media. People argued in the comments: blurry, fake, prank, a van life YouTuber drumming up attention, or it's just Dusty's plumbing van, paint's peeling. But those who'd seen it themselves, always under a full moon, insisted the license plate read the same: 0138207. Deputies launched a new investigation, puzzling over the plate. Not one state, Kansas, Nebraska, Iowa had any vehicle, current or historical, registered to those 7 digits. In fact, there was no manufacturer record for the van's VIN either. On June 21st, 3 weeks after Anna's close call, a second witness stepped forward. Julian Voss, local paramedic and hobbyist astronomer, had been parked at Duncan's Hollow to photograph the strawberry moon. He was surprised, shocked when the van glided through his frame, visible in a 20-second exposure but invisible in the time-lapse until 2:10 a.m., when it vanished from every image, mid-frame, like a tape splice. Julian swore he saw its taillights blink and then nothing, the night intact once more. But the strangest part? Julian's motion-activated dashcam showed only the empty road. When Anna reviewed his timestamps, she saw something that made her skin crawl. Every device failed to record the van for a window of exactly 2 minutes and 22 seconds, the same duration the van appeared in her own footage. Word spread as word does in small towns, slowly at first, then like wildfire. Theories abounded: government surveillance van, urban legend, stolen vehicle involved in old crimes, even a haunted car belonging to a local woman who disappeared decades earlier. Some teenagers began camping by the intersection on full moon nights, van hunting as a rite of passage, but the adults resumed locking their doors at dusk. That July, Anna got an email from a woman named Maribel Chan, who'd grown up in Millfield but now lived in Vermont. Subject: The Van, 1995. Maribel's memories tumbled out in a stream. Her brother Anthony had seen the van as a teenager, right before vanishing for 3 terrifying days. Search dogs tracked Anthony's scent to Duncan's Hollow, found his shoes near the intersection, but he staggered home at sunset the 3rd day, barefoot, babbling. He claimed nothing, not wanting to talk about it except one thing, repeated to family and a police officer.
There was a light. It was so bright I couldn't see. Then I was back.
Reading the police report, Anna found one odd detail. That night, the full moon's light was briefly obscured, recorded in astronomy logs as an unexplained high-altitude shadow. Anthony's shoes, the report stated, were dry and free of earth or debris, despite 3 days missing in rain and mud. Anna's investigation grew tangled. Red herring, a van matching the description, was ticketed in Des Moines in 2008, parking violation, but records showed a completely different plate and color. Clue: all sighting reports occurred on full moons with clear skies, never cloud cover, never during lunar eclipse. Fact: at least 3 missing persons in the region between 1990 and 2010 listed the hollow and adjacent roads as last seen location, but no direct evidence ever linked to a van. She visited the Millfield Historical Society, where eccentric curator Mr. Lowry handed her a shoebox labeled "The Hollow Warnings." Inside, she found shaky Polaroids, the intersection always flooded with moonlight, always grainy, but the same van in the background. Dates were scrawled: 1976, 1988, 1995, 2012. No faces, no license plates visible, just the van's outline growing sharper in newer pictures. Spellbound, Anna ran her own experiment on August's full moon, this time setting up 3 synchronized phone cameras at different angles, plus a 4th hidden in a hollow log. She ducked low, pressing record on her field mic as the cicadas reached their crescendo. 2:03 a.m. Headlights appeared, slanting through the trees. The van glided into view. The old, paint-peeling body, the plate reading 0138207. No one inside. The windows reflected only the moon. But in that hush, amid a sudden drop in temperature, Anna caught a voice. Barely audible, but unmistakably a child crying, "I want to go home," followed by static. When she played it back, all devices save for the hidden log cam were wiped clean of the 2-minute window. But on the log cam, the van stalled mid-turn. For one instant, a face like a double exposure appeared in the driver's seat. Eyes wide, mouth open as if screaming, features washed in silver moonlight. Then, gone. What was the van? A shared delusion? An urban legend made real by fear and repetition? Or was Anna brushing against the edge of something much larger? A convergence of place, time, and memory, encoded in full moons and rural roads. Anna couldn't shake the memory of the voice. She drove home uneasy, knowing her discovery would only stoke the town's obsession and, perhaps, her own. Anna's curiosity flourished into obsession, shadowing her days and twisting her nights. The van's appearances were no longer isolated incidents, but seemed stitched into the fabric of Duncan's Hollow, like an unsolved riddle passed down through decades. On August 30th, the night of the blue moon, considered rarer than a full moon, she returned to the intersection with a plan to finally uncover the truth. Before setting up, Anna contacted a retired DMV official, Richard Mallory, who whispered rumors of phantom registrations dating back decades. Vehicles whose paperwork vanished without a trace. According to Mallory, some plates were tied to cover-ups, missing persons or experimental government projects buried in classified files. Or worse, unacknowledged phenomena. As the blue moon rode high, Anna's cameras were once again trained on the road. At precisely 2:03 a.m., the van appeared, unmistakable in its dilapidated glory. This time, she noticed something new. A flash of lightning inside the cabin flickered in rhythm with the moonlight, reflecting off something metallic. Her heart raced, hands trembling as she zoomed in. Suddenly, her recording gear glitched. The van's license plate blurred, splitting and reforming in a pattern like static on an old television set. The strings of numbers morphed, cycling through impossible combinations. Then came the moment Anna barely caught on her hidden camcorder. A spectral figure stepped out of the van. The figure's face was a blur, features shifting like a mask of smoke, but clad in the driver's coat from the 1960s. Anna whispered into her recorder, voice shaking, "Who are you? What do you want?" The apparition turned towards her, and for a moment, eyes, old, hollow, infinite, met hers. Then, with a sudden flash, the figure vanished. The van roared to life and disappeared down the road, leaving behind the familiar hum of cicadas and a silence that pressed against her like tonic water poured over ice. She never saw the van again. Digging through cold archives, Anna uncovered a chilling discovery. In 1963, a delivery van matching the description belonged to a company involved in secret government experiments on temporal physics. The driver, a man named Thomas Burke, vanished without a trace that year. His registration was wiped clean from all official records after his disappearance, sealed by executive order. The inscription on an old newspaper clipping read, "Vanless driver Thomas Burke disappears into night, last seen near Duncan's Hollow under the light of the full moon." Had the van and its driver ever truly left? Had they become trapped between time and place? Or was the van a vessel for something far darker, cycling through the months when the moon's light bends reality? With the final piece in place, Anna published her story in a documentary-style video. It rocked the town. Duncan's Hollow became a pilgrimage site for lore hunters and skeptics alike, a place where moonlight revealed the impossible. The mystery of the van at Duncan's Hollow forces us to question what we accept as reality. Are there parts of the world where time folds back on itself? Where the forgotten, the lost, still linger, waiting for witness? Anna's story is not just about a van with a non-existent license, but about the human longing to understand absence, to capture moments fading into myth. The legal and social impact remains limited. No charges, no arrests, just a rekindled curiosity and a town forever changed by a shared enigma. It beckons us to ask, how much of what we dismiss as legend hides fragments of forgotten truth? Don't forget to subscribe to Real Mystery Reports for more strange, dark, and profoundly human stories. New true mysteries every day.